Hey guys, Clay Taylor here on the panel with Rob Harris, John Tatro, Sina Martin, Randy Wilson, Micah Dumas, all getting together right now to have an open discussion about what's happening with Trade Coin Club, the results that we've had so far in pre-launch, and what things people are asking about. We want to have answers if we can answer them. If we don't have answers, it's better to specifically get these questions listed so we can attack them on an FAQ. And I know that there's a lot of questions and a lot of positive, outstanding, you know, incomes that are being shared in terms of creating leveraged income with your Bitcoin, with your existing Bitcoin. And so we also want to make sure that the right dialogue gets shared with people, because there are certain ways that we have to approach this business or any business in the network marketing or affiliate marketing realm or business in general. And so in this preliminary phase that we're going through before the launch in China, we want to keep this momentum solid and strong. And in doing so, we are becoming more organized. We have great leadership with the US. These are just a handful of people. More people may be popping on the panel throughout the evening when we're talking. And we're all stepping it up, and we're all coming together to support the growth internationally, because our teams are international as well. But we have experience here from the first 2 months of going through an amazing journey with Trade Coin Club. And we like to continue to make it grow in the right way. We want to send the right message out, the right language to our people, answer the right questions, that our team members are asking of. And so this is going to be like a collection of questions that have been asked that we'll kind of share throughout this Q&A and forum. And then we'll go back and forth from YouTube, and we'll get to the questions that people are asking there. So if you haven't done so already, if you're on YouTube, your team should have this link, and they should be watching this. If you guys have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. Also subscribe to Trade Coin Club's YouTube channel as well. We'll put the link down there. And please subscribe to Randy's, Sina's, John's, and my upline in TCC, Rob Harris. And so, and then Ryan's upline as well, and Kathy's and Will's, and he's the part of this, and where I'm going to introduce him first, is because I've known his name, I've seen his work, never really got to work with him. I was on a call with Ryan and Joff and Rob while I was up here working in the Seattle marketplace. And before we could even hang up, I told Joff, where do I put my money in? Because it made so much sense. My business partner, my normal business partner, Kathy Keene, and Will, I trust 100% with business and the way that they do business and operate business. And I know through my circles that not only their opinion, but their perspective mattered, and the trust with Rob and Will and Kathy had already been established. And so from there, I just want to share that Joff has done a tremendous job coaching and training and answering so many support tickets. Pedro, thank you as well. Dover, I haven't been as involved with you yet, but I'm sure that's coming very, very soon. And there she is, my business partner. Kathy Keene has joined us. So with that, I'm going to let Rob go ahead and start, because we had a conversation last night, and we talked about how we wanted to share this message with our team members and to get the word out. And so, Rob, I'm going to go ahead and let you unmute yourself and just kind of share a little bit more of what we were talking about last night and how we can approach, first of all, where we're going and how we want to effectively better help the team members.
Well, hi, everybody. I would say, first, we got to make sure that we're getting the facts and that we're sharing the actual true facts. And one of them, I would say that we should really just out the gate address would be the initial, exchange. So when you put money into the exchange, how much is being traded? Well, according to the terms that recently came out, it says 55%. And other is basically being held or being used to pay off commissions. So we want to make sure that people understand that when they put the money in, it's not 100% that's trading, it's 55%. And another way to look at that, right now, for me, I put in 5 Bitcoins. I'm at 1.9 Bitcoins in just 2 months. So in less than 3 months, I will have more than half of what I originally put in. So within 3 months, I'm breaking even. After 3 months, I'm profiting. And somebody did an Excel spreadsheet, and they actually did the math. So after all the fees are taken out, after a full year, from what we're currently trending, we're looking at, what, 250% growth. And that's just based off the current trends. We don't want to promise that that's what's going to happen, but we can forecast based on trends that's at least what is looking like it's going to be. You know, we're part of the very first group of people to be on this platform and to be using it. So, you know, we're learning as we go. The other thing would be in our marketing and making sure that we're not making claims. We can't claim, for example, that someone's going to make X amount of dollars. And another thing we got to be careful of is when we're showing our results that, you know, we have a disclaimer. And I've been doing that with all of my postings. When I post that, you know, for example, I'm at 26 Bitcoins. I have a disclaimer on the bottom of my picture and the videos that I make that these are my personal results and these are not guaranteed for anybody. So moving forward, you know, for those who have been posting screenshots, you know, just be sure to put a disclaimer that results vary and your results are not guaranteed for everybody. Were there any specific questions, Calais, that you can think of that we should be addressing? Those are the two that were remaining.
Okay, well, yeah, I got one that has come up. One of the questions that has come up recently was what happens when you get to the 5 times amount? How does that all work? I know you and Kathy have experienced it, and I know initially it was like, what happened? But again, we are 2 months into this, internalize things the way that we read it a little bit differently. So can you share with us what happened when you experienced that?
So I just went through that yesterday, which it's a good problem to have. But basically what that means, I came in with 5 Bitcoins. And now that I just crossed 25 Bitcoins, I needed to reinvest another 5 Bitcoins. And so what I did, once I got up to about 20 Bitcoins, I just saved my commissions from 20 to 25. And then as of this morning, I reinvested those 5 Bitcoins back into my exchange. So now I put 10 Bitcoins into my exchange. Half of that is showing in there for what's available for withdrawal, but according to the terms, which is what I want to go by, it's stating that actually 55% of them is actually what is being traded. So now I have a total of just over 5 Bitcoins in my exchange that are trading total, which is pretty nice. So if I did 1.9 off of 5, I'm pretty excited to see what the next 2 months are going to be. But also, now that I have put 10 Bitcoins into my exchange, my next marker to where I'm at 5 times that amount is going to be 50 Bitcoins. And since I just passed 26 Bitcoins in commissions, it shows in my back office that I'm just past 2x times my original investment. So I'm really halfway to being 3x times that amount. And once I get to 40, basically I'm just going to stop, make sure I'm not pulling out any more of those commissions, and I will save up the 40 to 50 and then reinvest with 10 Bitcoins, which then gets pretty exciting. And when that happens, you know, it's triggering 3 other bonuses. It's triggering bonuses for my direct upline, which would be a direct referral, and then there's an indirect, and then there's a team bonus. So not only am I benefiting by adding more money to my own exchange, but I'm helping my direct sponsor and my upline also make some commissions off of that as well. So, and Kathy recently went through that, and I know she put in 8.5. And then for me, as a direct result, I got 0.85 Bitcoins as a commission just off of that. So it's pretty clever, and I can't complain. So, but that's your answer, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And at the end of this, I'm going to share my back office because it has not happened to us yet. And I want people to see a visual effect. And again, when I do show our back office, remember, this is from constant effort of building. So my results are not going to be everybody's results. And, you know, with this industry, you work hard, you can make what you're worth. And you work smart, you can make more than other people think you're worth. And if you work smart with smart people and really effectively, you can make a lot of people worth a lot more than they thought they were. Okay, so we'll do that towards the end so that you guys have a comparison to look visually. And again, my disclaimer is it takes work to get to what the numbers we produce cannot have the same result. So when you're coming from it from an outside perspective, you have to look, how many times will you log in? How many times will you invest? Are you the really passive person? Or are you the one that's seeing the big vision and moving people towards that direction? Kathy also went to the same thing. Kathy, if you can mute yourself, unmute yourself. If you can share kind of what happened with your 5 times, you know, the amount experience and how after going through it, how you internalize it. I know we talked on the phone, you said that it made sense and it actually works out. So, hi, Annie. It shows that you're unmuted, but we can't hear you, doll. Okay, so try one more time, Kath. If not, we're gonna, you wanna check your audio? I'm gonna move along to John really quickly because I wanna also share results of success testimonials that people are having. John, Cena, and Randy are all having success with this platform. John, I've known for about a year. We work on a lot of projects together, and congratulations to him. He hit the cruise today. I think it's pin level 5, or yeah, pin level 5. So John, why don't you, 4, pin level 4? Okay, awesome. Why don't you kind of show what performance has been?
So, yeah,
You'll be ready.
I didn't hear that last thing you said, but yeah, I guess I'll just share a little bit of my experience with TradeCoin Club so far. So, I mean, I got in with 0.3 Bitcoin about 37 trading days ago, which is probably a little bit over a month, and you know, I wasn't really too sure about how it worked, and I studied the comp plan, and I started really educating myself on, you know, how it worked and really how to maximize it. But I think I've done really good for myself over the past few weeks with this. You know, I've put in tons of work. You know, I work a full-time job. I'm a self-employed carpenter, and I'm always networking on the side and doing calls and trying to help people. And I tell you, the results pay off. You know, I'm gonna share my results, but I'm pretty humble by nature. I don't like to like brag about things and whatnot, but you know, for a normal guy who's recently into network marketing about a year, and you know, 31 Bitcoin, you know, just in 37 days, that's pretty good. And you know, I got to tell you something else too. My efforts from over the past year before I even got into TCC are now paying off here. You know, the fruits of the relationships that I've built are now coming to bear in TCC. And you know, I suggest for anybody who's new to network marketing or anything like that, I mean, the primary focus should be on helping people and building relationships. You know, it's, for me anyways, it's not really about selling anything to anybody. When I first got into network marketing, I wanted to sell people. I wanted people to join me, but that's not how it works. And you know, Kalei was a great mentor to me. You know, she taught me by example that it's about offering value as a friend, and that's just what I've been doing for the past year. And like I said, it's paid off. I'm really happy with Trade Coin Club. Like she said, you know, I got the couple pins, I got the pen, and I just got the cruise. Tonight it just came through, so I'm at trade level 4. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. And you know, I don't know everything about this. It seems like we're in this pre-launch phase where, you know, some things are kind of changing. You know, we see the new terms of agreement and stuff, and there's some different things than we were told at the beginning, which I think is expected, you know, especially in a company that's in its pre-launch stage. And you know, I'm cool with that. I'm an easygoing guy, and you know, I think as the company grows and, you know, it kind of evolves as it goes. I mean, we haven't even launched yet, so I think by the time we launch in Macau, China, and I hope to see each and every one of you there, you know, we'll have a solid idea of, you know, based on where we've been and how far we've come, a pretty good idea of, you know, where we're going to go with this. You know, I've heard little glimpses of things that are going to come out. I don't want to spoil it, but you know, I think 2017 is going to be a really kick butt year for us. I was going to swear on live YouTube, but I wasn't sure if I should. So anyways, that's just my experience, guys. Focus on the relationships. Focus on the relationships. Reach out to your uplines for help. That's one thing I do too. I always offer support. You know, I tell my downlines, put them in a chat with me. You don't know what you're talking about? Put them in a chat with me. We'll learn together. And that's just how it's been. Thank Bitcoin Randy in the chat. Go ahead, swear. I can't do it.
Awesome.
Anyways,
cool.
So that's just my experience so far. It's been pretty cool.
Yep. And Kathy agrees. Kathy, can you talk again? Does your mic work now? Okay, we're gonna have to come back. Maybe you wanna drop off and then come back? Okay. So really quickly, Sina, I know you're loving Bitcoin now. I know last year people were trying to get you into all kinds of cryptocurrency stuff. I told you, give me your money. But that's what I do with my friends who trust me. But then after I take their money, I teach them. And Sina's one of those just amazing people who've gotten started. If you can just kind of share a little bit of your success story here with TCC, and then we'll get to Randy, and then we'll go back and look at the questions that are in the forum, and we can see who's popped in, and we can answer those questions as well.
Okay. So yeah, you stole my money. You took my money. I was not listening to anything about cryptocurrency because I had a really bad experience last year. Somebody tried to get me into a coin that wasn't paying anything, but that's another story. So Kalei told me to get into this, TBC and Trade Coin Club when it came out. And I was like, okay, I'm not really doing it. I'm a really active success coach and a spiritual coach. So I do that every day, all day long. And I didn't want to build a team. So I said, okay, whatever, I'll try it. I'll try it. And she put me in, and now I'm in love with Bitcoin. It's just like, everybody has to have it. And I keep telling, I go to the coffee shop and tell people about the Bitcoin. I'm just like, so it's bad. So essentially what happened is I haven't built it to the level some of you guys have yet, but I'm coming. But what I did do is I just kind of ran it to people who are engaged in my email list. And I was able to pretty much make like 1 Bitcoin through my email list, just making emails one time, setting it and educating them once I learned about it. And, you know, they sign up and join in. They're going crazy about it. And like you guys said, it's not even launched yet. So I'm ready to see what happens after this point.
And just out of curiosity, how just the team size you have you estimated that after today in your network?
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday and it was 1,500 back there.
1,500 in like 60 days or something.
Yeah.
Now here's the next star. Well, cool. The other side, we all know Randy Wilson. We all know Randy Wilson. Let him get up on the camera because he's about to build this out. I've had lots of conversations with him as of recent. I know he's met Joff in person, you know, and he's a good guy, and he's got great content, great information, believes in training, believes in teaching, and I'm going to see him really shine, just like the rest of our team is doing. So Randy, if you want to take the spotlight really quickly as well, and then I'm going to start looking at the questions on YouTube so that we can get them written down and answered for those who are asking.
Absolutely. First of all, guys, I'm actually honored to be here on this call with you guys. I've been in multi-level marketing or network marketing for quite most of my life. But as far as being in the online space, a lot of you guys are like so comfortable with it. It took me a long time to get out of network marketing into online marketing. And really, I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason. You know, just the fact that I found myself into the Bitcoin world just like a year and a half ago, it just completely has blown my mind. And just happened to meeting people like Ryan Connolly online, which my brother-in-law happened to just introduce me and Ryan Connolly together. And then for me to just one day wake up and say, you know what, I need a boost, I need an infusion of Bitcoin love. Let me go up to Seattle and hang out with Ryan and Calais and just soak them in, you know what I mean? And I had no intentions of joining anything or being part of anything. But I can tell you, once I touched base in Seattle, you could just automatically feel the vibe that Ryan and Calais, you guys were doing something, you were putting something together, you were talking about something. And it was kind of like, well, I want to know, you know, let me know. I want to know, you know, get me in, you know. And at first I was real, you know, when they told me what it was, I didn't really get it. And I was kind of squeamish about it because up until that point, I'd had a couple of bad experiences with some programs. But I remember just saying, hey, just get me in. How much do I need? 1 Bitcoin, you know, 1 Bitcoin. Are you sure? Are you sure? Right. And then it was like, this founder's position came up. Well, what is that? 5 Bitcoin. Are you sure? You know. And then I'll never forget, just a couple of weeks ago, you know, after I decided to get in and everything, I still, believe it or not, even after I put in 1 coin, after I put in 5 Bitcoin, I still had a little squeamishness in my stomach. I was taking things a little light until I went to Las Vegas, right here in the good old US. Las Vegas, I was up there watching the Super Bowl. And Joff Paradise sent me a message and said, I'd like to meet you, you know, come on through. Or, you know, we connected and he invited me to his house. And I got to hang out with Joff Paradise, him and his wife at his house. He was doing a training with some other leaders that he was bringing on board. And that's when it dawned on me that this thing is really real. And if we don't get on it and put our all into it, we're gonna miss a huge, huge boat. And I just did not want to miss it. I said, you know what, I'm gonna get into this thing. I know I've had some challenges in the back. I know I have some questions still, but I'm gonna go forward and get into it. And you know, I trust Ryan, I trust Calais, I trust Joff Paradise, and you know, this thing is moving. Seeing all of the videos that you guys, that Ryan did at the home office and Joff Paradise did at the home office, it just all made sense. So that's when I just start ramping up. I start ramping up really quickly. So right now I'm at a little over 12 Bitcoin earned after putting, I invested 5 to make 12. Okay, anybody want to be in on that one? Yeah, and I'm not done. I still got you know, 10 more months of earning on my contract. So imagine I put in 5, and now we got just dozens and dozens, and maybe even hundreds of Bitcoin as a result of just putting in 5 Bitcoin. And of course, we're building a team and everything too, but it's just been great so far, looking to build our US market and all over the world. So I'm really thankful that Calais Taylor, you know, pretty much took a bat, hit me on the head and said, give me your money and get to work, you know? And so that kind of technique works sometimes on some people, you know, but thanks, Calais. And it's been great. And I'm looking forward to a lot of great stuff coming.
Whatever, Randy. It's just because you didn't prepare us that you were a vegan, so.
That's right. You got to beat up vegans sometimes. You know, you got to beat them over the head with a bat. You know.
Well, and thank you, Randy. I appreciate you sharing your short story. We're gonna give Kathy. Come on, Kathy, one more time.
Testing, testing, testing.
Yay!
I have a front and a back speaker, and I guess every time we get on one of these, I have to, you know, find out where I can adjust it. Yay! Yay for me.
Congratulations.
This, you know, this has been absolutely awesome. You know, we've gone over a lot of stuff. Rob, Will, and I get on the phone today, and you know, there's a lot of people that have, you know, they're not very clear. Let's just put it that way, because we weren't as well. This is all a learning experience. So, you know, 34 days into TCC, all of a sudden my back office shut off basically. I mean, it didn't shut off, but everything went to zero. Okay. This was the first experience of, you know, our whole entire team. Joff is like, no way, you already did that. Well, I mean, I came in with 1 Bitcoin, you know, 3 or 4 days later, upgraded with $500 more, was referring, you know, trading, etc. Got up to 5.05. There was no way I was going to miss the founders. So we did that, and then you know, built our way up to 8.5. Well, you know, we hit 42,500 in like 34 days, and all of a sudden it was just like our exchange, you know, went to zero, our trade went to zero, our commissions went to zero. Guys, you're being warned now, okay? But people say, wow, okay, so you had to pay 25% of the 42,500, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm more than happy to pay 25% of making that kind of money in 34 days. Are you kidding me? Now, the first 4 days or 3 days, I was just like, what the hell is going on? You know, under my breath, I'm like, what is going on here? Well, you know, we had to understand. We had to go through the process. So we were told one thing. We thought we were going to have to come back in and buy another 5.05, you know, and that kind of stuff. Well, that's not true. Your 25% is going to come out of your commissions, and it's going to come out of your trade. Okay. What happens at that point is, if you do not have enough in commissions, if you do not have enough in your trade, guys, it's going to automatically create a hash for you. Okay. You can't do anything with it. Nothing. You can't pay partial. You cannot do anything. You have to pay the whole entire thing at one time. Okay. But once you do that, guys, everything resets. What you came in with, or what you ended with, which was 8.5 on my side, that all came back up. Okay. And I'm going, okay, well, now this makes sense, because I wasn't real clear, because even the exchange went to zero. Okay. So I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand it, you know, and that kind of stuff. But guys, you know what? Don't freak out, and don't say, oh, they're taking 25% of what I've earned. Wait. Really think about how much money you've made, whatever number it is, okay, in the amount of time that you have made it. And guys, it's a win-win. And remember, the company still has to make money, or they're not going to be around. Okay, so don't freak out. You know, we are all deeply in direct communication with not only Joff, which all of us, you know, most of the main leaders are in communication with Joff, because he's right here in the U.S. Pedro, you know, I've never talked to Dover. I know he's there for us. And Pedro has helped a lot, and I mean a lot, with international teams. But the whole thing is, you know, just keep going. We're going to bring a lot more clarity. There's a lot of questions unanswered. We all think we know, but we don't want to share that information with you until we know. And Clay and, you know, Rob, and we've all discussed, we're going to bring one of the, you know, we're going to bring either Joff or Dover or Pedro actually onto these, you know, as we're doing them, so that you're getting it from the horse's mouth. We don't want to even repeat. We want it coming from them. So love y'all.
There you have it. Okay, so I was looking at some of the questions. I want to, Helen Smith, you said, how does the platform work? Well, here's how I'd answer that question. Number one, I'd go to traincoinclub.info. Okay, I would read everything, listen to the videos, and just let you guys know, I'm a person that encourages people to read, watch the videos. Thank you for being on these videos and watching, you know, the lives. So the platform works, and this is how I keep it simple. This is the way that I share it. Okay, this is the way that I share it. I let people know, if you have Bitcoin, you want to have it leveraged and working for you. You put your Bitcoin into TCC. A part of it is traded on your behalf for a contract period or a term, and you get to withdraw your money daily. You're making money daily. That's as simple as I explain it to people, because if you overcomplicate it and you don't have 100% of the answers, you've just overcomplicated it, and you've actually opened yourself a can of worms to answer questions that you can't answer. So you want to be very cautious. The other thing I want to share with you guys is sometimes you just don't answer the question. There's nothing wrong with not having the answer, but if you know what the question is and you know someone who could find the answer, you want to kind of go to your sponsor and have them go to their sponsor, and go to their sponsor until they get an answer. That's why we build teams together, so that we can get answers together. One of the other questions that was asked is, when the fee comes out, and this is by Linda Hall. Thank you, Linda. When the fee comes out, where do they come from? Where do we need to keep extra Bitcoin to cover fees? Rob, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, so it's coming out of your commissions, and I want to clarify one thing. There's actually good news. So when I hit 25 Bitcoins, I had to pay back 5 Bitcoins, which is 20%. That's entirely different. There's a 25% fee out of your exchange every 4 months. And that's only taken out of your exchange, from my understanding. However, if you hit 5 times the amount of your earnings, then something entirely different happens. You're required to reinvest 1/5, which is 20%. And you technically avoid that 25% fee out of your exchange, because here I am 2 months in, and I would have been 2 months away from having to pay 25% out of my exchange, but my contract just renewed. So when you buy back in, your contract renews, and now I have another 4 months before I have to worry about paying the 25% out of my exchange. Now, if I hit the 5 times amount again before the next 4 months, then my contract renews again, and then I avoid that 25% out of the exchange. So that's something I just recently learned. But I just want to make sure that that was understood and got that out there. 20% when you go 5 times the amount, so 1/5 is all I had to pay. Make sense?
Yeah, Kathy, you want to kind of share as well? I like people to hear, I wish everybody could relate to me 100% of the time. I thought I was that good. No, I'm just kidding. But I do know that other people need to hear other people, because every word makes a difference. So Kathy, can you kind of share how you internalize that because they want people to understand.
Well, there, you know, everybody, we've had in-depth conversations about this with, you know, with other leaders. And the whole point is everybody said, well, no, the 25%, you know, 4 months is totally a different fee than hitting the 5 times. Guys, it's not both. It's one or the other. So even though, I mean, we hit it in 34 days. Okay. Well, it renewed our contract. So there is no 4-month, you know, fee of 25%. So don't get into bogged down as far as, you know, it's 25%, you know, 5 times your earning, and it's 25% at the 4-month mark. No, that's not true. It's one or the other. So Rob, you know, that's why I was said correct. It's either one or the other.
And so, Rob, what do you see as the benefits of that being one or the other, and how do you see that as, from your perspective, how that's really beneficial as we move towards continually building, continually, you know, to me, I see it as people are going to, why would they stop TCC if they keep on making money? And the way that I understand it is that we are all going to make money, and that's kind of what's happening if we're paying attention. If people, you know, they start, they set their trade once a week, they're paying attention, they make an extra effort to reinvest their earnings, or, you know, from commissions or trades. Like, how do you internalize all of that? Is a good thing, or?
You know, this is the first company and system I've been a part of where it makes absolutely no sense to stop. The only reason to stop is if you want to stop making money. So outside of that, both are fine. So if you don't hit 5 times your amount, and you're reinvesting, or you're paying the 25% fee out of your exchange, that's going to the company, and that's how they make money. But actually, that 25%, I haven't experienced that yet. So I'm still trying to visualize. My understanding would be that 25% would actually be put back into your exchange, and then 45% of that gets split up in commissions. The other 55% is in your exchange, accumulating more money. Is how I'm envisioning how that works. Don't quote me. None of us have crossed that bridge yet, but I have crossed the bridge of the rebuy, and that's exactly how that worked. So I'm imagining that they're both going to be similar. So it's not just like the company's just taking that's being reinvested back into the exchange, and it benefits both you and it benefits your direct upline. So it's a win-win. There really is no reason. I can't even imagine a reason to stop doing this.
Yep. So Randy, I know your perspective as well. I mean, some people, you know, they're so money driven or trying to make money so fast that they're not seeing the calculated risks based on their behavior and how they talk about it. When you think of 25% or the fees that the company so far has, you know, been issuing when we withdraw and so on and so forth, do you see that there's a bad thing that the company has a cost of doing business? I know that you talked to Josh personally. How was that, you know, shared with you? What is your insight on that?
Well, a couple things. First of all, a lot of people have questions, but they have questions before they read the material, you know. And then I know for me personally, I read through that .info site probably about 12 times. You know, about 12 times I watched that video, and I got this sneaky suspicion, Calais, that the video, the voice on the video, it sounds like it's you. You know, I don't know. It sounds like you made the recording for that video. That's how many times I watched it. I started recognizing the voice. Okay, but you know, first and foremost, I suggest everybody watch the videos and watch the website and go over it until you understand it, because that's what I had to do. Now, secondly, you know, I'm actually in the financial world. I'm a licensed financial professional. And I've done a lot with people's retirement and had that kind of conversation before. And one of the things that most people don't realize is a major issue in planning, you know, their financial products and stuff like that, is that there are fees associated with someone handling your investments, handling your money. There's fees. You cannot get away from that. And the challenge that I think that we have to kind of overcome is understanding that there's not too many financial vehicles out there that are going to give you the kind of returns that we're getting out of here. And it would be ludicrous to consider that we could get all of this return on our investment with all of this automation and all of this opportunity that helps us almost literally just kind of put our money in and click a button. That's almost all it is, okay? And then to think that we're not going to have to pay some kind of fees on that. We were just kind of joking on the chat room for the Google. I can't wait to pay my 20%, 25%, or if it was 50%. But if I made 50 Bitcoin and I had to pay 25 of them, but I could enjoy 25 of them, and all I did was put in 5. Come on, you guys. Paying fees to make money, let's take our mentality to another level here. That's where we're going. We're going to have automation, leverage. We're going to have vehicles, tools, passive residuals. You think there's no fees to pay for all of this kind of stuff? So, you know, and that was Joff Paradise and myself. We kind of laughed about that as well when we met in Las Vegas. Hey, if I got to pay 20% or 25%, whatever it is, you know, because we don't even care to make, you know, if I have to pay 20% of my 100%, I'll gladly put in that 20%. Just give me what's left over, the 80% that's left over, and I'll go, you know, travel the world or whatever. So that's my insight. It's ludicrous to think that we're not going to pay some fees to make the kind of money we're making here.
Okay, so awesome. Just looking at the questions again. Let me see. Susan Burrell asks, are there any updates on people wanting to buy large amounts of Bitcoin to get in? Is that a question that we want to answer on here? Anyone? I do have access. Susan, you can reach out to me personally. I'm having that. And Kathy says the same thing. And, you know, one of the things that I love about our team, people that get it, when we call building a team, right? Because you can recruit people, but if you're not building to teach, to coach, to train, to teach, to coach, everybody's always going to be sucking in. You're not going to. You got to push them out of the nest. You got to challenge them, make them better, make them whole, make them stronger. So when we are doing this, one of the things that I enjoyed about TC was understanding that I could help my team by having Bitcoin if on my efforts and my team efforts, we made Bitcoin together. And so Kathy, I kind of want to, if you want to unmute yourself again, can you share just how it works out when you are reinvesting into your team? Why do you help the team acquire Bitcoin? Because I know that you, Rob, and Will had worked together to create a source for us to get Bitcoin from to help our teams. Do you guys want to share how you did that and why?
Well, I'll actually touch on the why first. The why is because we're bringing people into TCC that normally would never have, you know, they have very, very little knowledge of cryptocurrency. For some reason, this is just really, really appealed to them. So if you have a brand new person, it is so much easier to say, okay, this is the price, send it to my PayPal, you know, take them through the whole thing, the buy, blah, blah, blah. That is a much easier process to get them started and get them started like right now. Because if you do it through your system, it's immediate. Okay, if you do it through blockchain or, you know, an outside source, it takes so much longer. You just want to get them up and running as soon as possible so they start seeing results. And I mean, to me, that is the easiest, because if you go and buy it off of, you know, different platforms, you could be waiting 4 hours, you could be waiting 24 hours. You know, in some cases on Coinbase, people have waited up to 14 days. People don't want, you're going to lose those people, because it's like, that's too much work. That's too much work. And I've got my money pending out there for 14 days and I can't even get into this program yet. So even if you can get somebody started with 0.30, do it internally, do as much as you possibly can, because you're getting them up and running right now so that they can, you know, understand the process.
Yep. And Rob, what do you think about that? Are you in agreement with that?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I would say the other reason we've just been, I mean, in a good way, just really hit with a lot of requests for Bitcoin, and we realized there was a problem that needed to be solved, and we live in a society where people want instant, you know, gratification. They don't want to wait 2 weeks, and you know, we've been fortunate that we were able to find a really good, reliable source here locally in Seattle. And I've been working pretty hard on putting a website together to finalize the pieces. We already have access to the Bitcoin. We just got to structure it, LLC, business, website, content. On top of that, you know, I own another company during the day that I run, and then I get home and have 2 little kids. So after this, tonight I'll be helping work out the last bit of details on the site. And my goal is just after this weekend to finally be able to put it out there for everybody to share. And it's going to be United States for now only. Working on some licensing and getting it to where it can be properly released to the rest of the world. But for now, the United States will be our primary target for the next few months, and then going from there. So it's been a tremendous experience, and I'm excited, you know, with Bitcoin and just being a part of that. These are exciting times. It's 2017. I believe without a doubt, this is going to be one of the biggest, best years for Bitcoin, period. And what we're doing is exciting. For example, I've been sharing this with my father, who has slowly been starting to grasp exactly what Bitcoin is. And is excited about it, and actually now wants to invest into Bitcoin. And something I don't think he ever would have done had this type of opportunity never came up and gave me a chance to explain to him, along with many other people that are discovering it for the first time. So it's a win-win. I think the education part of it and teaching people about Bitcoin just in general is a whole nother fun part of what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, so let me go back over here. So Linda, Linda says, I'm not minding the fees. I just want to make sure that I have enough Bitcoin in the right wallet when they withdraw the fees and not get cut short. So would you guys recommend that she just has the amount? What would you? How would you answer that question, Rob or Kathy?
Well, I know. You know, we didn't have enough fees in there. We've just been helping as many people, so we weren't really paying attention to that, and we did not know at that point that we were that close. Okay, but what we're doing now is every time we earn a Bitcoin, we are actually rolling it over. Now, when the wallet funds opens up, we'll be able to do that. Okay, so that we can keep it separate from our exchange. We're going to roll it over into our funds wallet, which everybody knows right now there's nothing in there. There's never anything in there. But that's going to have to do with our card. It's going to be up to us to decide if we want to load our card or not. But for a visual and a reminder, we're going to run, you know, we're going to put in, every time we get a Bitcoin, we're going to put 25% in. Okay, 0.25. We're going to put it into that funds wallet. You know, if we have funds left at the end of that, amen. You know, that's just extra money. We were not prepared, and that's what I want everybody to understand. Make sure that you are prepared, especially if you are putting a lot of money into this. And everybody, you guys have to understand that we all thought because of the verbiage, okay, it says you have to make 5 times, you know, your trade. Your trade, guys, that's not correct. It's 5 times your earning. So if you're a big recruiter, you need to look at your total earnings. Do not look at, you know, okay, I'm only going to be paying, you know, 25% of my trade income. This is all considered trade income. You've made it on the trading platform. Okay, so that's where the verbiage, in my mind, in other people's minds, Will, Rob, I mean, I think many others out there, that is where everybody was kind of confused, because we thought, wait, we haven't made 5 times in our trade. Well, come to find out, it's off of total earnings. Now, another reason, Kalei, I just want to touch real quick, and then I'm going to hand it back to you. Another reason that we sell it within the system, guys, you know that 8% fee? What happens, guys, if you're selling it to your people to get started and you're building your business? You avoid that 8% fee. I think that kind of, you know, tells you without me telling you any further why we're doing that as well.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You know, I've been doing the same thing. Again, we're all learning through the system, right? And so over time, as you do more, as you apply more, as you're going through your back office more, you find out different things that you can do. And man, I am so thankful that we found out about how to upgrade our team members, because that was instantaneous. Their link goes live. And when, you know, we're waiting for Coinbase or blockchain, there are extended periods of time that people have to wait, and it's just the way that we've experienced. So, you know, what we're learning is the only thing that we can communicate. And just like Kathy said, we like to communicate facts and things that have happened to us. Go ahead, Randy. Randy has a question.
Okay, so something just clicked in my head, and I just want you guys to confirm this for me. I've had people start, and they you know, hey, here's some cash, and I'd be like, okay, let me just pay your hash for you, right? But I've been paying their hash with my Bitcoin account. I think what you're saying is I can pay their hash with my pay hash in the back of my office. And
you are absolutely correct, Randy.
Oh. Wow.
Don't do it from your wallet. Don't do it from your outside wallet. Use your commissions. Use your commissions to pay these people in. You're not paying a fee. It's instant.
Randy, you can tell that. So here's what I do. Either, number one, I do want to make sure this is announced. When people go to your registration link, okay, you're sharing your registration link, please make sure that they are filling it out and signing the documentation. They need to type in their name on a signature form. They do not, now that the terms and agreements have come out, they do not have access into the account system before signing their name on that agreement. Okay.
Yeah, it won't let them proceed without signing their name and everything.
In the terms and agreements area, yeah. Correct. So, okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is as you're accumulating Bitcoin, you say, okay, this is what I've been doing. I've been having people send me Bitcoin to my Bitcoin wallet if I have Bitcoin in my trade, right? Even if people, you know, that's what I'm doing with people. So they send me their Bitcoin. They create their hash, they send it to me, I log in, I go to pay financial, I hover over financial, click on pay hash, it populates a ticket with the amount that's needed, who the user is, you pay it, boom, they're in. Like that.
Thousands of dollars. How about that?
I mean, it's exciting.
I've been wanting to help my team, so I've been helping them get started, getting started early. But I could have helped them, even better, and help myself too by paying their hash for them with my back office. I understand that now. Okay.
Yeah, and I can walk you through that. I'd be happy to take you through a couple of sessions.
Okay.
So, okay, let me go and check and see if there's any of these questions. Paul Kahn, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you will find, can you explain how to upgrade your team members internally? I have videos for that. You guys, we encourage videos as your medium if you are leadership and or if you are developing into a leader. Number one, it's going to bring you, if you have a YouTube channel, it's going to bring you an audience. Number two, you're going to be able to see yourself improve and get better, but also to share your results. I think that a lot of people are really afraid to step out there and to share the results. It takes proof to build believability. I mean, that's what we do. We watch it, we watch it on TV, we watch it in the media, we watch it on social media. People want to believe in something good, and you have to give them that ability to be genuine, kind, open, transparent, honest. It doesn't matter how great of a marketer you can be if you don't have the other elements of, integrity and also proficiency, right? You want to make sure that you guys are paying attention. We have asked people to subscribe to YouTube channels so that this, as we're growing, becomes more and more scalable, right? We want people to understand, the new people are not going to know 100% of what to say. Please get your leaders' videos out to them and make sure that they have your link to register on. Because as we continue to build this, please know your teams are going to grow and you are going to be more and more difficult to reach because you've got different sets of responsibilities, right? And so just know that. Just know as this grows, you guys, some of us make YouTube videos for a reason. So, Paul, if you can, I have a video about how to do that on this YouTube channel, okay? Looking to Brenda Charles, I had someone sign up today, never got an email verification. They used their Comcast email. What should they do? Anybody want to answer that question? I can answer it, but does anybody else want to give feedback that have run into this issue?
Yeah, I've come across it. So number one, check the junk or spam folder. Always make sure that they do that. But sometimes it's the actual email server itself. So Comcast.net probably isn't the best. Google, Outlook, Hotmail, all those seem to be working just fine. But the most common thing is most people just forget to check their junk mail, and I would do that. And worst case, if it's just not coming through with that email, then you may have to just create a new one, worst case scenario. But usually it's not TCC, it's the actual email provider itself. So that's what I found.
Anybody else want to give feedback? Anybody else experience anything you want to share? No, because everybody's setting people up successfully over there. I see how.
What Rob said.
I've also experienced this with Comcast. So I had a friend, we had to have her come over, and I would recommend Gmail. That's all I'm saying. That's the way that I would answer that question. And you can always have them sign up on the link again and then register correctly. Another question, how many times is the team bonus paid? Here's an assumption question, assuming that you only have 2 direct referrals. Anybody?
Well, first of all, you need 3 referrals before you're going to get any team bonus.
Correct.
Okay, so if you're going to refer people, you'll get paid your direct bonus, startup bonus, when they enroll. But as far as looking into your team and all the additional bonuses that come along, and we got a whole bunch of different bonuses that we get, that doesn't come in until you have 3 direct referrals. As far as the binary is concerned, that means 1 on one leg and 2 on the other, or 2 on that leg and 1 on the other. But you have to have at least 3 direct referrals, at least split with 2 and 1 or 1 and 2, before you're going to start seeing any team bonuses.
Is that the way that you understand it, Kathy?
Oh.
Sorry. Pause the next question. Rob, is that the way you understand it?
For the most part, yes, but I think it's possible. I'm just going to put it out there.